Hi, my name is Rick Bloodworth, and today is day 3 of the challenge to read through the New Testament in 30 days. The reading for today is Matthew chapter 15 through the 21st chapter. I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you'll read it diligently. I'd like to begin with an illustration that I heard recently about a little boy and a turtle, and it reminded me of one of my own children, my youngest, who also loved turtles. Maybe you'll enjoy this story as well, and I hope you'll appreciate the illustration. Begins with a little boy coming to his daddy, and he's got his turtle in his hands. He says, "Daddy, my turtle has died," and he's just inconsolable over it. Well, the dad thought, I better do something quick, otherwise he's going to be caught up in this grief all day long. And so he said, I'll tell you what, let's have a funeral. You call up all your friends and invite them. We'll even have a little parade in your turtle's honor. And then after that, I'll say a few words over your turtle, and then we'll bury him in the backyard. Well, the little boy was pretty excited about this, and he was getting caught up in the idea of this great funeral that they were going to have. And then he looked down in his hands, and his daddy said, "Well, your turtle's not dead at all. It's still alive." The little boy looked down at it reflectively for a moment, and then he kind of, with a sly grin, said, "Let's kill it." Well, obviously this is not a story to encourage us to kill pets, and certainly the dad did not have that in mind when he was trying to console the young man. But it does show how effective a persuasive speaker can be, and also how we might go in the wrong direction with the idea of the speaker when they're so effective. Well, this was one of the things that was true about the scribes and the Pharisees during the New Testament time. They were misleading a lot of people. They were persuasive in their teaching, and probably, for the most part, they even believed what they were teaching. But look at what Christ had to say about it. I'm going to be reading from Matthew chapter 15. Then some of the Pharisees and teachers of the law came to Jesus from Jerusalem and asked, "Why do your disciples break the tradition of the elders? They don't wash their hands before they eat." Now, I didn't realize until I'd read this that Mom may have been a Pharisee. Anyway, going along, Jesus replied, "And why do you break the command of God for the sake of your tradition? For God said, 'Honor your father and mother,' and anyone who curses his father or mother must be put to death. But you say that if a man says to his father or mother, 'Whatever help you might have otherwise received from me is a gift devoted to God,' and he is not to honor his father and mother with it, thus you void and nullify the word of God for the sake of your tradition. You hypocrites! Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are just rules taught by men." Well, think about that for a moment. The people were following the Pharisees and the teachers of the law because they felt like not only did they have the authority, but they had studied, therefore they must be right. But Jesus came along and said, "You're teaching them wrong, and you're teaching them to worship God in vain." Well, this is why we're reading the New Testament. We want to find out what God has to say to us about how we're to come to Him in the first place, how we're to become Christians, how we're to worship on the first day of the week, how we're to live our everyday lives. He has certain rules set aside that He expects to be followed. We're often tempted, though, because of persuasive speakers in our own life, to follow the traditions of men rather than the rules of God. Well, how can we know the difference? The answer is, God has given us His Word. Read it. This is why we read. I hope you'll enjoy the reading for today. We'll see you tomorrow.